Hello everybody, I'm Amber. Welcome to my channel. I'm really excited to be here filming this video because I've loved watching pregnancy update and pregnancy videos for a long time. So I'm so excited to be here filming one myself. So today we are going to be talking about the symptoms that I experienced before I got my BFP, which stands for Big Fat Positive, in case you were not sure, because I did not know that for a very long time. So the symptoms I got before I got a positive pregnancy test. I do just want to say beforehand, if you are trying, definitely take this with a grain of salt because every body is so different. So when Alex and I were trying to get pregnant, I would like binge watch these videos, and there were some symptoms that I had that other women had, but there were a lot of videos where women would talk about their symptoms and I had nothing like what a lot of women had. So if you don't experience the symptoms that I had, then you might still be pregnant. So definitely don't give up hope. Okay, I have my little notes on Alex's iPad because, you know, your memory really does start to get fuzzy with some of these things. I'm currently 20 weeks pregnant. I probably should have said that in the beginning. I'm 20 weeks pregnant, so this was quite a while ago. So I'm glad that I did write some things down because I don't think I would remember a lot of this. I will say also, these aren't necessarily going to be in the exact order that I experienced them because I didn't like take notes while I was in the 2-week wait. I wrote all of this stuff down right after I got the positive pregnancy test because when I was in that 2-week wait, I was really trying not to pay too much attention to what was going on with my body because it's so easy for your mind to like trick you into thinking that you're pregnant, and you like might think that you're having all these symptoms and then your period just starts. So I was really trying to just like kind of ignore everything and just let it be. So I didn't write everything down in exact order, but I do have kind of an idea of, you know, what happened first and whatnot. So, okay, here we go. One of the first symptoms, this actually isn't really a symptom, but one of the first things that I noticed that kind of tipped me off that something might be going on was that I had an elevated BBT. And your BBT is your basal body temperature, which is your temperature when you're at rest. So for some of you who like really track your cycles thoroughly, you'll probably know what that is. If you don't know what it is, it's just like you take your temperature first thing in the morning and you'll start to notice that your body has like patterns. Like when you ovulate, your temperature, your resting temperature will go up and then it will drop down right before or like a few days before you start your period. And when you're pregnant, your temperature will usually go up and then it will stay up. So I did notice that my temperature was going up, which that wasn't weird because it was post-ovulation, but it went the highest it had ever been. So that was a little bit weird to me. Like I definitely noticed my temperature has never been that high, but there's a lot of different things that can affect your temperature. So again, I took note of it, but I didn't think too much of it at the time because, you know, there are things that can affect your temperature. So I kind of just like noticed it and then moved on. The next thing that I started to notice probably like a couple days after I noticed the elevated temperature was twinges. I think they were mostly just on my right side, and they weren't like super painful. It wasn't all day. It just was like an occasional little twinge, which I've also heard other women say that they noticed like when the fertilized egg is like implanting. I don't know. I mean, I've also heard that there's no way that you can feel implantation because it's like happening on such a microscopic level, but no matter what, I definitely felt twinges for like a couple of days on and off on my right side. So that was the second thing. Another thing that I noticed, this was kind of throughout the 2-week wait, and that was that I had an aversion to lattes. Not so averse that like I didn't even want to consider it. I actually kept purchasing lattes and then I would like take a couple sips and I was just like, no, and I would throw it away. So I think I threw away like 4 or 5 lattes, which is not like me. So I kind of just took it as like, oh, I must just not be feeling coffee right now, but it was just weird that it kept on happening, that like every single time I bought a latte, I took a couple sips and was like, I really don't want this, and just threw it away. So that was another thing. This one is probably TMI, but I'm gonna go ahead and share it because, you know, this is real. And this is pregnancy. I noticed that I was a lot more gassy than I normally am. I'm not like a super gassy person, but especially at night, like I would be laying there in bed and I was like, what is going on? Especially because it's not like I was eating anything out of the ordinary. Like I just was feeling a little bit more gassy. I also was feeling a lot more fatigued. That was in the days, like 3 days leading up to me taking the pregnancy test. I was taking a nap like every single day, and I'm not a napper. So unless I'm like sick or unless I have like a really big day and then the next day I'm just exhausted, I've never really been one to, well, except for when I was like in high school and I was tired all the time. Other than that, I've never really been one to take naps, but here I was a few days before I took the pregnancy test and I was needing a nap every single day around like noon or 1-ish. So definitely was feeling really tired. I also was feeling irritated. That was also like a few days before I took the test, where I was just getting annoyed at Alex primarily for like the most random things. And I'm pretty sure I actually did tell him at one point, like, everything you're doing is annoying me. Bless his heart. And he wasn't doing anything like super annoying. I was just really irritated for no reason. I really didn't think anything about that though, because even though it was a little bit like extra, I also get pretty irritated before I start my period. So at that point, I was thinking like maybe I was just PMSing a little bit. It was quite a bit, like it was over a week before my period was supposed to start. So for me, that's pretty early to start PMSing. Like I usually get PMS symptoms, I don't know, maybe like 2 days, maybe 3 days before I start my period. So I did think that that was kind of soon, but I figured either I'm just like having a month or my period was gonna come early. I also did notice like 2 to 3 days before I took the test that I was needing to pee a little bit more, so more frequent urination. And I know for sure 2 days before I took the test, I was noticing a creamy white discharge. Not a lot of it, but just occasionally I was getting this like creamy white discharge in my underwear, which for me is not normal right before my period. That's usually when I would get more like watery discharge. So that definitely kind of made me like tilt my head a little bit. Junie, you look like a little dumpling. The last symptom that I experienced before I took the pregnancy test, this actually was the same day that I took the pregnancy test, was cramping, which they weren't horrible, but they definitely were more painful than what I would have expected. So I actually woke up, it was a Monday morning, I woke up and these cramps came on, And I turned to Alex and I was like, I'm probably gonna start my period today, and it's just coming early because I definitely have cramps and it feels like it's gonna happen. And I went to the bathroom, nothing happened. So I figured, okay, well, we'll just like continue on with the day like normal until something does happen. And they kind of subsided, and then they'd like come back and then they'd go away. So I took the pregnancy test because I wanted to confirm that I was not pregnant so that I could just like await my period in peace. But sure enough, there was the faintest little line, and I immediately texted a picture of it to one of my girlfriends and was like, are you seeing this or am I crazy? And she was like, that is definitely a line. And so I went to CVS and I got like a more expensive first response pregnancy test instead of like just the little dipsticks that I had, and there was a more solid line. So that is how I found out, and those are the symptoms that I had before I got a positive pregnancy test. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and please hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any future videos. I would love to see you around here more often. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.